Hello Werewolf Army, this is Jaden's Videos, and today I am going to be reviewing another Home Depot Halloween 2021 animatronic. This one is the Three-Faced Jester, which is selling at Home Depot for $200. He's a really cool one, and he was one that I initially wanted, and then for a short while I told myself that I wasn't going to get him this season, and then I saw him in store. I was like, okay, this is one that I have to have. Obviously, not being used in my haunt this year since it's a haunted mansion, but I do plan to use him in the front yard to attract people in on Halloween night, of course, but he's obviously not going in the haunt itself, this year at least. But nonetheless, he's a great prop, and I'm really excited to jump in with this review. I know he's a really popular one this season. He's not one that's selling out, so if you want him, I mean, you should jump on it as soon as possible because Home Depot ones do go fast regardless, but he's not one that's selling out like the Inferno Pumpkin or any of those big ones. He is more of a mid-range seller, I'd say, but he's still a popular one amongst people, so I'm excited to jump into the review on this guy. Let's get going. Obviously, one of the best things about him is just how good he looks. I mean, I love him because he's a jester, and we never really get jesters. A lot of people have referred to this as a clown prop, but I don't really consider it a clown. It can work with clowns, yes, because jesters can work with clowns. But he's more of a medieval jester than anything, as signified by the music and the fact that jesters are medieval. The only time jesters really work with clowns are when it's like a jack-in-the-box type scenario, but usually jesters are more medieval. So I love medieval props, but I also love clowns and jesters. If you are to lump jesters with clowns, jesters are some of my favorite types of clowns. And so it's cool to finally get a life-size jester prop. I mean, we've gotten some in the past, like Chester the Jester, but I mean just a full life-size standing medieval jester. This is the first ever full-out medieval jester prop that we've ever gotten, and I think he's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I removed the mask so you could get a better look at him, but just look at his face there. The detail is great on this guy. And like I mentioned with Buzzsaw, they're actually molding the inside heads to the sculpt. And so there's no deformities this year, which is perfect. I mean, he looks so good. I love his white eyes. I think those are one of the creepiest parts about his face for sure. His white eyes look great. I love his teeth and his gums. I love that black lipstick on his lips. That just looks so awesome. His head overall looks good. His headpiece looks great too. Of course, you got the Harlequin pattern here with these skulls dangling down as like bells. Really, really cool. I'm going to put the mask back on him now so you can take a look at him with it. There's his awesome mask, which is another reason I love this prop, is I've always wanted like a masquerade or a like theater mask type prop, and that's exactly what this guy is. I'd like to see more of these types of props, but the reason he's called the Three-Faced Jester is because he comes with 3 masks and they're interchangeable. You can use whichever one you want. I'm using this one simply because it's the one that they advertise him with, but I'd say more so. I don't even know if it's my favorite one. I like the other 2 a lot too because they're the classic tragedy and comedy masks, which I really like. Being into theater myself, I really like those, but I like how this one actually stands out from those ones. So those ones look better hanging off of him, whereas this one looks better with him holding it, just because it stands out from the other 2. It's a really cool looking mask, and the detailing on all of the masks is great. They've got some dirt detailing. They not just plain white. They actually look dirty and cool, and I like it. I'm only going to show one of his hands because they have the exact same sculpt. The only difference is there's a little slot to put the mask in the other hand, but they're the exact same sculpt. I really like the position they're in. I think it looks really cool. The hands have some crazy good detail. They look like real hands. They look fantastic. I don't know if I can really bend it there. I don't want to try that, but they look absolutely fantastic with the detail. I love the long fingernails. Really, really great detail on this guy, and his overall appearance I think is the best part about this prop. He just looks phenomenal. Obviously, he's got his basic jester clothing with the Harlequin pattern, the red and black. Absolutely love the color scheme on this guy. More of the skulls dangling off as bells. And then if you move down to the pants here, which I'm going to do now, you can see the more Harlequin pattern. He's got these ruffles here, which I really love. Really helps add to the medieval aspect of this character. It gives him a very Renaissance type feel. I love it. Absolutely love this guy. Those ruffles make me think of William Shakespeare. This whole prop kind of reminds me of Shakespeare type stuff. Right here, obviously, we have the two other masks, which kind of just wrap around his leg there. But you've got obviously the comedy mask and then the tragedy mask, which actually might be my favorite mask that he comes with. I've always been a big fan of the tragedy mask, so I'm glad that they have a prop that utilizes those two. Like I said, only reason I'm not using him with that one is because it would look kind of off to have the other one next to the comedy one. I feel like the comedy and tragedy one should always be kept together because they always look good that way. If you move down, you obviously have his shoes, which these shoes are great. These shoes are fantastic, and I'm so happy with them because these aren't your generic SVI clown shoes with the stupid plastic. These are foam, or not foam, they're fabric. I don't know why I call them foam. They're fabric shoes and they're stuffed. They look way better. They're way better quality. So happy they use this on him instead of the basic SVI plastic shoes, which they really need to stop with. So there he is. As you can see, he just looks absolutely fantastic. I love him. Now also another thing I want to mention is that he's kind of hunched over. I forgot to mention the posture he's in. He's so cool with one of his legs in front of the other, kind of like he's like creeping, or I don't know. It's very theatrical looking. He's in a very theatrical pose. Everything about him. He's also hunched over, which I love. He looks like a jester in the way that he even stands. He's just got so much character to him. It's crazy. I think it's one of the most, at least this year, I think it is definitely one of the props with the most personality. And we have a lot of props with a lot of personality to them this year. I think this one has a heck of a lot of that. With the way he's posed, the way he looks, his voice acting is phenomenal, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And let me just say, his phrases in audio are great. There's one phrase I don't like, and it's the happy, dark, creepy Halloween one. Because I don't really like when props mention Halloween, because it's just kind of cheesy for them to do that. It's unnecessary. I don't really like when they do it. But other than that, his phrases are great. One of his phrases is about a minute long, which is pretty crazy. But for a jester, I like it because he basically rhymes. It's fantastic. He's got 4 phrases. I'll jump right into those. I also want to mention, keep an ear open for his awesome music in the background. His music is great. It's a medieval type jester music. I love it. Absolutely love everything about this prop. But I'm going to jump right into the demo now so you can see what this awesome guy does.
We are going to have so much fun playing evil characters, and we've only begun. I have so many to choose, over a ton, but having trouble deciding which one. Every mask is horrific, even worse than the last. The performance top-notch and never outclassed. I'll strip away your courage until you have none, and soak up your terror when I am done. Consider yourself warned from my mirthful pun, that if you value your life, don't walk away, run! There once was a jester from Dallas who admittedly acted quite callous. When a passerby came, as part of his game, he treated them with pestilent malice. Oogie boogie, oogie boogie. I've come to get you. Check it out. Happy dark, creepy Halloween to you. Are you excited for the sinister events about to unfold? If not, you are in the wrong place. Halloween always puts me in a frantic mood. I never know what crazy thing I'm going to do.
So, I love everything about this guy. His audio, his look, his animation. I didn't even mention how good his animation is. I mean, for $200, which I'll go into the price right now then, for $200, I think it's 100% worth it. If this was at Spirit, not to bash Spirit or anything, but we all know their stuff can be overpriced. If this were at Spirit, it would be roughly around $250. I mean, this guy has a crazy amount of animation. He's got his side-to-side moving, he's got his arm moving, and he's got his mouth movement. 3 animations, and some truly great animations, and his mouth movement is very fluent too, may I mention. But his coolest animation is definitely how he removes the mask from his face and puts it back up. It just adds so much character and such a cool atmosphere to him. Now I've noticed it's kind of hard because I've seen other people's have it kind of like mine. It's kind of hard to position his mask directly in front of his face, but I don't really think it matters. I think it looks cool with him peeping out over the top of it there. He's just got so much character, and he's such a fantastic prop, and I really want to see more medieval props, and I know Home Depot's giving us a lot this year, but unfortunately I'm not a big fan of most of those. But this one is just absolutely fantastic. One of the best medieval props I've ever seen. One of the best Home Depot props I've ever seen. One of my favorites from SVI in recent years, and SVI is one of my favorite companies, so keep that in mind. One of my favorites from 2021 from all stores, and if you count him as a clown, definitely up in my top 5 favorite clowns, but I don't really count him as a clown. But if you do, he's definitely up there. Great prop. Highly recommend him if you want him. $200 is an absolute steal for this guy. Like I said, I was at one point considering not even getting him, and now he's one of my one of the purchases I've gotten this year that I'm most happy with, and I don't have any regrets with at all, because he's just so cool. If you like him, snag him while you can. The Home Depot stuff goes fast. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think of this guy in the comments below. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves.